Hey, this is Chadwick Eisman from BitChute.com/Chadwick Eisman, Gab.com/Chadwick Eisman, and Minds.com/Chadwick Eisman. Today is the 18th of June, 2020. Just going to try and get another podcast out to the world that's around 10 minutes long. And in this one, I'm going to discuss a little bit and touch on a little bit more about what my content strategy. Last time I went in kind of a weird direction. I don't know if I want to go in the same direction and explaining into more detail, but I gave you kind of an idea of how I do things with BitChute and Liberty TV as far as creating a long form videos for DJ Chadwick stuff and then posting it on there. And then I also created the photos with the Adobe Lightroom CC. But I wanted to talk about something different that I create, which is a podcast. In this one, I want to talk about podcasts more and how I create my podcasts and what I do with them. So originally, what I do is I go into a cell phone app that I have. It's like an audio recorder, and I record the audio directly through my cell phone. So once I have that audio directly recorded through my cell phone onto the audio app, I then export that to the first place being Anchor app, which is like a Google app that kind of puts out my podcast to all the other platforms that are Silicon Valley etc type platforms automatically. And next thing I do after that is and I also have to type in like the title and some hashtags and maybe a brief description before I can move forward. And I usually take a photo too, like to get a thumbnail, and I put that up on for the Anchor thing. And then with that being done, okay, that's finished. The next step is that I would take the audio recording out of the audio app that I recorded it on, and I would put that onto BitChute and Liberty TV. Somehow I have to figure out a better way to do this right now, but I'm sure I will. And I have to. But what I've been doing is taking the audio and also turning it not only into podcasts, but also into video podcasts so that I can put it on video platforms that require something in the background, such as a photo during the video, just as to turn it into an MP4 rather than an MP3. They require MP4s rather than MP3s or WAV. So I turn the audio into an MP4 by taking the audio recording from my original audio recorder app, and I take that recording and I export it to Adobe. I get it into Adobe Premiere somehow, and once it's into Adobe Premiere, I add the photo that I'm going to use as my thumbnail also to Adobe Premiere. Once it's in Adobe Premiere, the photo and the audio are both into Adobe Premiere. I export that out as an MP4 from Adobe Premiere. So it was a MP3. The audio it was an MP3, and the photo was a JPEG is what I call it. JPEG. I don't know if I'm saying that right. JPG, and JPG is probably the better way for me to say it, because that's what it is, file. And those combine and turn into MP4, and then with that, I take the MP4 and I upload that to BitChute and Liberty TV as well. So not only are the videos that I was talking about in the last podcast up on BitChute and Liberty, but also are my long form podcasts, which are in video format, that I created through Adobe Premiere as well, which is why that's the number one favorite Adobe Cloud platform to use, is because you can do so much with Adobe Premiere, from titles to, even if I wanted to edit some moving graphics or something, or maybe even make a basic sound wave looking thing as I talk. I'm not sure if I can do that. I might have to go into Adobe After Effects to do that, but So it looks kind of cool. Well, if people are watching it during the podcast while they're listening, they could see some moving stuff on like on a spectrum moving thing that I could create. But I haven't really done that in a long time. I used to create some of those. It just takes a lot more effort and a lot more time to create a spectrum audio thing if you're going to do it yourself. I'm sure you can go to Fiverr.com and pay someone $5 and they'll do it for you. But everything I do, I prefer just to do it myself because I know I can do it. As far as creating it on there real quick, and I don't want to spend $5. It's just too much money to spend to pay for someone to create something for me that I can do myself pretty fast. But that's something to talk about, is that Fiverr.com thing. So people just like, there's just so many people that are trying to make $5 on that website. I never did it. I never signed up to offer my services for $5, just because I don't want to create random shit for people for $5 that go to brands that I don't even know or anything. So I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the whole Fiverr thing. But I did see some cool things on there. Like you can just like give them some basic information, and they'll just put like if you give them like your brand name, they'll add that into like a video, and they'll create a whole video around your brand for what you want for $5 or $10 or so. Yeah, I just feel like that's a website to go to where you can get things that are just like mechanically made versus somebody who actually took the time to build something that was like much better. But yeah, I'm trying to make this 10 minutes. Damn. I got some water. Hang on. Alright, fuck this 10-minute whole thing. Yeah, this is Chadwick Eisman from gab.com/Chadwick Eisman, bitchute.com/Chadwick Eisman, and minds.com/Chadwick Eisman. Log in. I'm gonna exit out of this. Peace.